Everybody's talking about this. Let's bring in ABC News medical contributor, Dr. Alok Patel, and ABC News contributor and managing partner at the Cochran firm, Shauna Lloyd, with a legal perspective on it all. Great to see you both. Thanks for joining us. Dr. Patel, is this the right call right now?
You know, Kenneth, I see two issues. Number one is in terms of the timing. This feels a little bit early. No one expected the mandate to stay in place forever. We were actually going to reevaluate all the data in early May. With looking at what this rise in BA2 is actually going to translate into in terms of hospitalizations. And if all went according to plan, the mandate would have been lifted. So this feels a few weeks too early. But I also, what I feel is the more frustrating part right now is that one judge in one day was able to overturn this mandate and got companies like Delta calling SARS-CoV-2 an ordinary seasonal virus, which it's neither ordinary or seasonal. And so is this the future of public health guidance, that it can be struck down during a political climate? I think that's what a lot of people right now are frustrated, worried, and concerned about.
And Shauna, many people have been kicked off flights, banned from certain airlines for not complying with mask mandates. We've all seen the viral videos. We reported on those. Do those passengers who've gotten into trouble, been kicked off, do they have any recourse to appeal following this federal ruling?
I mean, what we're going to see is we'll have to see where this ends. This actually can still be challenged, and we haven't seen whether or not the Justice Department is going to continue to challenge it and see whether or not they want to test the viability and the constitutionality of this decision. So once we have that final determination, then we'll know what type of rights these previous passengers have once it's been decided.
Dr. Patel, I was actually on social media and I saw people documenting their experiences on planes when this ruling came through, when the announcements were made. We saw at the top of Gio's piece there. There were people who obviously decided to keep their mask on while others were cheering and ripping them off. For those who choose to still wear a mask while flying or on public transportation, including the immunocompromised, is there a certain mask they should use?
Kenneth, the same rules still apply. A higher quality mask is always going to be better. Trying to avoid those cloth masks and making sure you're getting something with 3 layers. KN95 is really the way to go, and N95 does need to be fitted, but for anyone who has access to one and it fits well, you're still gonna get good protection, even if it's that one-way protection. Now, we don't necessarily anticipate, based on data in the past, that there's gonna be this unsurmountable set of outbreaks on airplanes, but we think about what actually happens in transit. When you're at the terminal, when you're at stores, when you're in those shuttles, there's so many points of contact that come around flight travel that is also something to pay attention to as well. But if we're being realistic, I don't think that we're gonna see this heightened level of transmission right now over the next 2 weeks, but I do feel for people who are immunocompromised or people with children under the age of 5 who now have to fend for themselves and hope that the community still has the same selflessness that they do when there's a peanut allergy on the plane.
Shauna, what could this mean for enforcing air travel restrictions moving forward now that people are not required to wear a mask?
Well, right now it's going to fall on the local and state authorities to make determinations. And so what we see are waves of different mandates. So in some states, they are still requiring on their particular under city and under county ordinances, they are still requiring mask mandates. Other areas are not requiring it. So you're going to have to be very cautious and cognizant that when you're moving around the U.S. currently, there can be different mask requirements based on where you are.
And Dr. Patel, I know there's a political side to this, and you're here for the medical side, so let's dig deeper into that. This comes as at least 34 states see an increase in the Omicron subvariant. Should we be concerned that this could contribute to another wave?
Simply put, we don't really know. Like I said, the good news is that this so far has not translated into the same level of hospitalizations and severe illness that we saw with previous waves. We simply don't know the magnitude. We're in a much better place in terms of vaccine-acquired immunity and the natural immunity that's out there as well. We can't discount the potential effects of long COVID either. But again, Kenneth, when we talk about and we give the public reassurance and say things like, there are antivirals available, and if you're immunocompromised, check in with your doctor and make sure you get Evusheld. These are not necessarily available to the wide swath of Americans out there, especially those who have limited healthcare access. So we do need to see not only a little bit more data about what BA2 is truly going to turn into and what the litmus test of reopening everything and lifting guidance is what that's going to translate into. We also need to make sure we're speaking out for all Americans out there, including those who are vulnerable and may not have immediate access to antivirals and other treatments.
All right, this is a long way from being over. Dr. Patel, Shauna Lloyd, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.